Well, once again, not a lot of progress this week. It's a big week in our household. Um, we are leaving tomorrow and dropping off my oldest at college. So we've had a pretty hectic week just getting ready for that. So didn't get out to make work on the cabin at all. Um, we'll see next week. I think it's a very real possibility we'll be able to finish up that floor and get everything hauled over before next week. But we'll see. Never know how the week's going to go. So not much action this week, but I did have some thoughts that I wanted to share with you guys. In my introduction, I talked about finding a garden. I talked about it, I think, maybe in another video too. And how important it has been for me to find a garden, find a place where it's easier for me to be okay. It's easier for me to work with those parts and just spend some time, out in the calm and the quiet, away from the noise. And so I think it's incredibly important for everybody to find a place like that. But I think there's something specific about being out in nature, and having a place out in nature that you can cultivate, that you can kind of take something that's raw and wild and tame it a little bit, cultivate it. And this is the reason why I think so. In my opinion, three of the most important events in human history took place in a garden. You can probably argue with me, and that's like I've said before, I'm not a theologian, but God created Adam and Eve and put them in a garden, the Garden of Eden. So at our creation, we were placed in a garden. Then you fast forward to Jesus being born, living his life, and at the moment where he was to give his yes, where he was spending time with the Father, was in the Garden of Gethsemane. And then I'd never put this together until recently, but after Jesus rose, and I believe it was Mary Magdalene and maybe Mary, the mother of Jesus, went to go to the tomb. Jesus appeared to them, and Mary Magdalene didn't recognize him. And there's a line that says she supposed him to be the gardener. Well, if you've got a gardener, that means you're in a garden. And so Jesus's tomb would have been in a form of a garden, someplace in the wild that they had tamed and cultivated to have these tombs. So we have a creation, we have Jesus's yes to the Father's will, and we have his resurrection. And having those three events all happen in a garden, I think it's important. And I think it speaks to who we are as humans, that it's good for us to seek out a place in the wild that we can, like I said, cultivate, beautify, yet we're still out surrounded by God's creation. I don't know, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on it. I'll say, at least for me, that's the difference between me going to a chapel or to a church or coming out here. All are good. Obviously, a chapel or a main church, the presence of Jesus is there. The presence of Jesus is not here in that same way. But that's why I think this type of garden is an added element for us as humans to be able to communicate with ourselves and communicate with God. Might be a crazy theory, but it makes a lot of sense in my head, and it makes a lot of sense in my experience. So, sorry for no progress this week, guys. It's just kind of that time of year. You know, all the kids are getting ready to go back to school. We're doing all that stuff. I hope you guys have a blessed week, and we'll see you next time.